Hey, let's get serious, guys. It's been a while. Happy Monday. It's a holiday Monday here in Canada. I haven't talked to you in a while. I've been trying to, get my shit together for this channel, trying to make content that's going to be insightful, interesting. I don't want to repeat everything else that everybody's saying out there, but by the same token, I got to give my own touch on it. I struggled with addictions a long time. A lot of addictions, I'll be honest with you guys. One of them was two of the addictions I've never had or alcoholism. I've never been addicted to alcohol. I did my fair share of drinking in younger days, and even up to like 2 3 years ago. Not heavily, never heavily, but enough. You know what I mean? Going out every weekend or every second weekend to a pub with the boys, having a few drinks, and not thinking nothing of it. Right? I've never been addicted to marijuana, to pot, or to any kind of like drugs of any kind. Luckily, I was addicted to Tylenol. I'll be honest with you, painkillers, because I played a lot of sports when I was young. I'm a slight guy. I played soccer my whole life, played a bit of hockey, and yeah, man, the body aches. I was addicted to Tylenol, and I started getting damage to my liver. My counts were up high, and stomach issues, and finally, went and got blood work done to the doctor, and he could tell, like your liver's taking a beating. I was young enough, everything's regenerated. I'm good now. But I still have a sensitive stomach when it comes to stuff like that, right? I was addicted to shopping. You might think that's retarded, but yeah, spending money, impulse buys and stuff and whatever. And two other addictions that are private to me, but very, very serious. I was addicted to gambling. I would go to the casino, I would blow through money, sometimes half a paycheck, be down 3 4 500 bucks, $600, and then you feel like shit and you're trying to recover it, and it's kind of like that old saying, going down a rabbit hole, and instead of coming back up, you just dig yourself further and further and further in until finally I got the right help. Not by my, not professionally, but with friends and with family, and I banned myself from the casino and went cold turkey. It was hard. It was hard as fuck, but I did it. I haven't been to a casino in years. I haven't had any urge to gamble. Nothing at all. But one of the toughest ones for us guys is addiction to pornography. Um, Not ashamed. There should be no shame. We're men. We have urges. Men are way more sexual than women when it comes to being out front about it. We let our urges control us more than women do, from what I understand. I mean, obviously, I don't know everything about women and how they control them, or if they can't control them, or it would seem to me it's more of a man issue than a female issue, but I'm sure it can happen at that level as well for a woman. But anyways, talking about that, right? That's a struggle. That's a hard one, right? And you might even think, if you're married with a wife, oh, you shouldn't, no, because if you have a wife that that doesn't think that sex is important for the relationship. I'm not talking like when you're back in college or whatever, every day, every weekend, stuff. No. But I'm even once, twice a month. Really, I mean, that's kind of harsh, right? That you can't even, you know, have relations, make love to your wife like 2 or 3 times a month. That's not really that much if you think about it, right? But it is what it is, right? And a lot of relationships break over that, right? They break over that because it's funny, a woman gives it to you, when you're dating, whatever, all great. You get married, you say I do, it changes. Dynamic changes completely. I don't know if women think that you have to earn it more at that time, or that like, well, I gave it to him, now he's made a commitment to me, so it's doesn't have to be done. It's not a big priority anymore, right? So it's hard, right? So there's lots of reasons why men become addicted to pornography. A lot of young men today are addicted to pornography because really, like, the dating market is shit. Um, the percentages of men, like the top 10% of men, get the most action, right? You get these women that are giving it up fully to these guys, thinking that they're gonna hook this guy. This guy's a great catch, and they're gonna get him. But those guys have optionality. Those guys have lots of options. So, I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, and I'm not talking about the average normal guy with good morals. And I mean, who am I to call somebody immoral or immoral? It depends on your own personal morality compass, right? What you think what you value, what you don't value. But let's say you're a single guy, you're like 30, 35 years old, you're good looking, you got money coming out your yin yang, and you got women throwing at themselves at you. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that they're going to commit? Do you think that they're not going to play the field and try to enjoy it as much as possible as long as it lasts? That's just what it is, right? So you got like a small percentage of men that are up at that high level, and these women, like seven, eights, nines, tens, whatever, maybe even lower, throwing themselves at these guys. But that's a different subject. That's a dating subject. That is the inequality in the dating game right now, where women think there are no good men, and men just know that women are just a little delusional when it comes to their view and what they think they can attain and what they think they're worth on a scale of 1 to 10, whatever. That's a different subject. I'm just talking to the perspective that it's harder for guys, for young men right now, right? To get with a woman. Not all of them, you got a certain percentage, like I said, of the men, even at a young age, that are up higher, if they're over 6 foot tall, or if they're jocks, or if they're really fit and they can get action, yeah. But we're talking about the average guy, the average guy. We're not talking bottom of the pile losers that, like, forgive me guys, what would be somebody that's considered like not a catch, not attractive at all, doesn't stay in shape, doesn't have a job. We're not talking about those guys. We're talking about average guys, hardworking guys, good guys, personable, but they're just not in women's eyes. They're not up in that higher echelon, right? So therefore they don't exist. They're not noticed all the time. It's harder for them to go ahead and meet somebody, right? So young men that are feeling lonely just because of this inequality with men and women right now, where women are highly educated, they're getting the better jobs, let's be honest. All that aside, there's a lot of percentage of the male population that's lonely, that doesn't have access to sex. Okay, they don't have access to sex per se with a partner, right? And that leads to addiction, pornography addiction. There's a lot of middle-aged men and other men that like are either divorced, they're not getting, they're being undervalued, right? And if you cannot cope with the controlling those urges that you have, right, and then you start thirsting, and then you start simping, and let's be honest, I mean, there's access to half-naked women. You don't even have to go to a pornographic site, guys, to see half-naked women. All you have to do is go on Instagram, go on TikTok, even on freaking Facebook, you guys. On your Facebook feed, you'll see all these reels about chicks, and these chicks with these pages and OnlyFans, and it's a sad state of affair, right? That is what this world has come down to, right? So therefore, there is a need for men to release, because it's normal, right? It is normal to have that pent up energy, and you find that you have to find a release point, and a lot of that release point is obtained through pornography, where you don't have access to the real thing, but you still have access to beautiful women online, half naked or naked, depending on if you're like just looking at OnlyFans or Instagram, or whether you're actually going to the websites, where you can get the full-blown thing. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So this has created a high addiction for pornography for young men, and let's be honest, men of all ages, right? Especially the ones that don't have access to the real thing, or, they're just in a relationship where it's just not something that's readily available to them from their partner, right? So I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, okay? I'm not here to judge, because we've all done it. And if you're a man, of a certain age, and you try to tell me you've never watched pornography or never had self-gratification, you're full of shit, right? Unless you're a priest in a convent or something, and whatever, that's a story for another day. But as I was doing research on this, I came across SRT, for you guys that don't know, is semen retention, right? And just the benefits of controlling those urges, the benefits of desexualizing your brain, not looking at every piece of ass and imagining that girl naked, or imagining her in bed with you, right? It's not easy. You have to desexualize your brain. You have to learn your triggers, know what sets you off. Don't go on Instagram. Don't follow OnlyFans. Facebook, like, cut reels off, You can. I mean, the algorithm The algorithm right now is to a point, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, if you click on any of these reels of these chicks, half naked in bikinis or with yoga pants up there, you know what, you know, guess what? The algorithm is gonna keep showing you that shit. Those videos are gonna keep popping up in your feed. If you delete those reels, or if you say no content like this, if you like slowly delete all those, delete any friends that you don't really know, chicks that are like posting pictures and shit like that. Click off reels. Eventually, little by little, that algorithm will start disappearing and you'll see less and less and less of these videos. And why am I saying that? Because those are triggers, guys. Those are triggers that set you off to go watch something deeper than that, right? You see a chick half naked in a bikini showing her ass and, dancing in a video. And guess what? Your brain's going to be, I want more of that and more of that. And I want to see more, and more. And eventually you make your way to the websites, right? The ones that have no filter, the ones that show you everything and then more, and then it's never enough. It always has to be more and more and more extreme and more outrageous, and it just becomes one big effing mess, right? So back to the point of controlling your urges, trying to desexualize your brain little by little by cutting off those Instagram accounts, all that kind of stuff, right? Just slowly try to like curve your way. Don't give in to that. Give yourself a different kind of content that feeds your mind with positive stuff and not addictive shit, right? I know it's not easy, guys, but it's done. You can go. There's so much good stuff on YouTube. There's so much bad shit on YouTube, but there's so much good stuff that can help you, right? That can help you desexualize your brain. That can help you overcome these addictions to pornography, to FOP and all that shit, right? Now, one good way to try to do this is to try to give yourself a challenge. Give yourself a challenge of no FOP. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's 30-day challenges or 60-day challenges. There's 90-day challenges and so on, further and further and further. Try 7 days. Make that your starting point. Okay, 7 days with no porn, with no FOP. Okay, it'll do wonders for you. Obviously, it's not going to clear you completely of it, because the main challenge is 30 days, 60, 90 days. That is your goal, right? If you can go 30, 60, 90 days, you'll see huge benefits in energy, in clarity of mind, in lack of shame. You won't be ashamed anymore, right? Because let's be honest, every time you watch porn and you do the deed, you feel shame. You get that hit of dopamine for that short little release, and then after, let's be honest, you feel like shit. Not only that, it takes your testosterone levels way down, right? Way down, and it takes a while to recuperate that, right? And if you don't think that testosterone is important for men, you're dead wrong. You are dead wrong. Okay, now what if you're telling me, hey dude, I can fuck lots of chicks and I don't have to do fine, whatever. Still, that is a sacred act. The reproductive organs are to serve a purpose. I'm not saying, I'm not getting righteous here and you should only use it when you're gonna have a baby or whatever. That's what it's intended for, let's be honest. That's what it's intended for. That's why in the animal world, the female only goes in heat when it's time for reproduction, when it's time to have a baby for that short period of time that they go into heat for. Unfortunately, in the human world, that's not the case. It's available yet unavailable all the time, if that makes any sense, guys, right? So try to cure yourself of this. Let's do a 7-day retention. Do a 7 days without porn, without FOP. Try it. 7 days. If you relapse, you relapse. That's just life. But it's got so many benefits, so many positives to stopping that addiction to pornography, which is like a bad, it's just bad for your brain, for your dopamine hits. You get fried by watching pornography, right? It's no worse than somebody just shooting up heroin, just getting that high all the time. And that addiction gets worse and worse and worse, right? Until it becomes uncontrollable. And then you feel bad. You don't feel good. We've all seen addicts. You know what addicts are like, right? Their life is miserable, right? If they don't get that hit, they feel like shit. And even when they do the drug, it makes them feel good temporarily, but then they crash and then it just feels horrible, right? So try the semen retention, you guys. Read into it, read more about it. It is so many positives. And just the porn addiction and the no porn, is just so beneficial to you, man. It'll give you clarity. It'll give you peace of mind. It'll get rid of that shame that you have when you look in the mirror after you're like, oh, fuck, you did it again. I give into that shit again, right? Like, no, guys. That is something that I wanted to touch base with today with you guys. Please subscribe, or at least hit the notification. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are on this. I will also be speaking about relationships and how to handle sex and relationships and stuff like that. But for now, if you're not in a relationship, which a lot of people are not, a lot of guys are not, because the dating market's not ideal for men out there, let me know what you think. And more importantly, learn to control your urges. If you control your urges, sorry guys, it'll make you a stronger man. It'll give you clarity. It'll let you focus on more important things, such as bettering yourself, such as self-help, self-growth, starting that business, getting educated, bringing up your skill levels, going to the gym, having more energy. All that kind of stuff will be beneficial to you guys, okay? Thanks for listening. Have a good one.